We got to go out and we got to fight like hell, and we got to win the House and we got to win the Senate.
Republicans make up the majority in both the House and the Senate, but that may change. As we inch closer to the midterm elections this November, this demographic could make a difference.
Voice your vote. You can make a difference.
Voice your vote.
Asian American and Pacific Islanders AAPI population has been growing in the South and in the suburbs, and that could impact voting results. AAPIs make about 6% of the U.S. population. Even though the demographic is smaller in size than whites, Hispanic, and blacks, Asians are the fastest growing minority group. Alton Wang is the Assistant Director of AAPI Data, which studies and provides demographic information on Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders.
The fastest growing Asian American communities are happening in states across the South, including Georgia, where the Asian American population has grown more than 130% since 2000, or in Florida, where the community has grown more than 110% since 2000. In these states, we're seeing a doubling of these communities in the last decade and a half.
The growing Asian American population is especially significant in swing states like Virginia, and the population is growing 5 times faster in suburbs than cities. Why is this important? Some experts are calling the suburbs the central battleground of American politics because the majority of electorates live there. According to APIA Vote, about 2/3 of Asian Americans with party affiliation identify as Democrats. According to your study, the majority of Asian Americans lean Democrat, as well as they don't support candidates who are anti-immigrant as well as anti-Muslim. Why do you think this is the case?
The majority of our communities are immigrant communities. There's significant overlaps between Asian American communities and Muslim communities. There are literal overlaps where Asian Americans are Muslim too. And it's true, actually, a plurality of Asian Americans identify as Democrats, right? More than 40% of Asian Americans identify as Democrats, whereas only about 16% of Asian Americans identify as Republicans. One thing to note here is that there's significant swaths of the community, more than 40%, that are still undecided or independent. So there are significant inroads that both parties can make to our communities.
Despite the population increase, Asian American voting turnout remains low. Wang says it's due to the lack of access to polls, language barriers, and the lack of engagement among politicians. Asian American votes may be tough to ignore, as AAPIs have the highest median income, which makes them viable campaign donors.
Right? We're talking about communities that have not just significant growth in our population, but also significant growth in the share of our electorate. So it's really important for us to really re-emphasize and be more active in engaging these elected officials.